Hi guys, I'm Syrachime and I welcome you back to another episode of Pokemon SoulSilver. In the last episode, we explored Ecruteak City a little bit, including the Dance Theater and the Burned Tower, and while we were actually at the Burned Tower, we re-encountered our rival Richard and defeated him for the third time. Then shortly after that, we had a brief encounter with a strange Pokemon named Suicune, along with somebody who's been chasing that Suicune named Usain. Yeah, I don't know what Usain's problem is. He's a Pokemon stalker. We'll just leave it at that. So anyway, that's all we were able to do before the time actually caught up to us. We did get Morty back to his gym, so we are able to take him on now. But you might notice that, judging by our surroundings, that I am not actually at Ecruteak City. And I have a very good reason for that. That is because it is time to make a couple of additions and changes to my team. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, I actually came back to Goldenrod City because I would like to give my Gloom here a nickname. I think it's been long enough now, and I would really like to give this Gloom a little nickname. So we are going to do that accordingly. So as tradition, we're going to go up here and talk to this guy. He will say, "Hello, hello, I am the official name reader." We have been through this a lot, so I'm not going to talk about any of the stuff that he's saying. Alright, so which Pokemon should I critique? That would be Gloom here. Alright, now what on earth am I going to name this Gloom of mine? Well, as it turns out, I didn't receive a lot of suggestions for this Pokemon either, but I was actually able to come up with something that I really wanted to name this Pokemon because of what it's going to evolve into shortly. If you've watched my previous videos, you know what it's going to be. But anyway, what I've decided to name this Pokemon now is, well, give me just one moment to type it up and you will see for yourself. Alright, one more later. There we go. I am calling this Pokemon Sakura. Now, the reason I'm doing this is not so much because of Gloom, because Gloom does not look like a Sakura at all. Just give it one moment. That is about to change. Done! How about that? From now on, this Pokemon shall be known as Sakura. It's a better name than before, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's not very fitting of Gloom right now, but just give it one moment because, well, I actually do have an item in my bag that I plan on using, and I'm going to use it accordingly. So yes, I have decided after thinking long and hard that I want to evolve my Gloom into a Bellossom. I know that I said that Bellossom's not the greatest Pokemon to evolve or to have Gloom with. I recommended Vileplume over Bellossom, but Bellossom has a better defenses, and my team really needs defense, so yeah, Sakura here, while it may not look much like a beautiful Blossom right now, that is about to change right now with what? Sakura is evolving. So what could Sakura possibly be evolving into? Yes, as if you really don't know. So, after the blinding flash of light, we will see that Sakura is properly named as the Sakura Bellossom. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Congratulations, Sakura. Welcome to the team in your final evolution. It's actually the first Pokemon to evolve, believe it or not. Alright, so there is my new Bellossom, or my new Sakura, and she looks just absolutely happy to be on the team, doesn't she? That's just the cutest thing ever. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move on now. As it turns out, there is actually one other thing in the city that could be of great importance to you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Just depends personally on whether you want this Pokemon or not. Now, I know I've kind of gone on a rant about how annoying Bill is, but in this particular game, this guy is actually very important for reasons you will see why in just a moment. Because if you go in this building here and talk to him, he has something very interesting for you. So we talk to him, he says, "Hi, Chime. Would you do something for me and take this Eevee? It came over when I was adjusting the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. Someone has to take care of it, but I don't like going outside. Can I count on you to play with it, Chime?" So yes, if you accept this offer here, Bill here will give you an Eevee, a Pokemon that can evolve into one of several different kinds of Pokemon. So this Pokemon right here has the potential to evolve in a lot of things, and I highly recommend this Pokemon if you want it. We'll take a look at Eevee in a moment, but first things first. Yes, I will take your Eevee, even though I myself don't like going outside. I will still take it. I knew you'd come through. You're the real deal. Way to go. Thank you, Bill. You seem so much more tame than you did in Fire Red. Okay, I'm counting on you. Don't worry, I will take good care of this Eevee. Take good care of it. That's the plan. Can I please have it now? There we go. Chime has received the Eevee. Haha, the 5th member of my team. Way to ruin that. Well, anyway, I want to give a nickname to the Eevee. I will do so, but I'm not going to do it so much right now. I'll explain why in just a little bit. So anyway, Professor Elm said Eevee can evolve into 7 different kinds of Pokemon. And this is indeed the case. So after we get done talking to Bill, let's take a look at what we actually got in this Eevee. So Eevee right here, as he said, can actually turn into one of 7 different kinds of Pokemon. See, Eevee is so cute here. Unfortunately, when you get this Pokemon, it's only at level 5, but that's really not so bad. It's pretty easy to level up at this point in the game if you get it now. So anyway, Eevee here can evolve into one of 7 different kinds of Pokemon, but only 5 of them are actually obtainable in the game. Now, I am going to do just kind of some quick bios of Eevee, but I really don't want this to be like a 20-minute long bio session. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and give you some brief traits about what Eevee can evolve into, and I'll save more in-depth bios for a little bit later. I got a lot of other stuff I'd like to get done. So anyway, Eevee really quickly. If you expose Eevee to a water stone, it will become a Vaporeon, more or less just a bulky water type, kind of a lot like Slowbro. If you expose Eevee to a Thunderstone, it will become a speedy, powerful Jolteon, an electric type. You expose Eevee to a Firestone, it will become a pretty powerful but slow fire type Pokemon, Flareon. If you level up Eevee with max happiness during the day, it will become an Espeon, pretty much a fast, powerful special attacker, a lot like Jolteon. And finally, if you level up Eevee with max happiness at night, you will get an Umbreon, which is more or less just a dedicated wall. So if you are going to go for an Eevee evolution, Vaporeon will give you a bulky water type, really good one at that. Jolteon and Espeon will give you very speedy, powerful special attackers. And if you evolve it into an Umbreon, you will more or less get a very good dedicated wall, but that's just about it. And Flareon, well, I really don't recommend Flareon all that much. You get a pretty powerful Pokemon, but it's really slow and it's not really super defensive, so yeah. If you're going to go for these Pokemon, I could recommend everything except Umbreon because of the fact that it's just a wall and a Flareon. But like I said, we'll go in more depth about these Pokemon later. Alright, so those are all the Pokemon in a nutshell that you can find there. And as it turns out, I've already said this before, but Eevee is a Pokemon I am indeed going to add to my team. So yeah, Eevee here is the 5th member of my team, if you didn't see that coming, and there's my mother trying to tell me that she has bought more stuff with my money. I don't care right now, Mother. Quit being annoying. Alright, so because of all of that, this Eevee is only at level 5. I'm actually going to go take a little bit of time to go level up this Pokemon a little bit, get it on par with my other Pokemon, and then we'll talk about evolutions and a couple of things a little bit after that. So I will be right back after I do a little bit of training. Alright, I am back with a level 22 Eevee, a Pokemon that is on par with the rest of my Pokemon. And if you're wondering why I'm back here at the Name Reader's house, well, that is because I am going to give this Eevee of mine a nickname. But first, I would actually like to do something very different, and that is evolve this Pokemon. So yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because, well, typically, I'd like to at least give the Pokemon their base evolutions at least a little bit of screen time before evolving them. But the gym leader we have coming up, Eevee is not going to be very useful, and I would like him to be useful, so we're going to change that right now. So if you're wondering what I'm going to evolve this Eevee into, it might actually be a bit surprising. So judging by my team, you might be thinking maybe it's an Espeon, or a Jolteon, or a Umbreon. But no, what I'm going to evolve this thing into is a Flareon. Yeah, I can imagine many of you probably thinking, what? Why on earth are you evolving this thing into a Flareon? Didn't you just say it's the worst thing ever? Well, it is a bad Pokemon, but I have a very good reason for doing it, and I will tell you in just a minute. First things first, it is time to evolve this Eevee into the Fire-type Pokemon that is Flareon. What? Eevee is evolving! And it is evolving into one of the most questionable Pokemon in existence, a Pokemon that I swear Game Freak hates. Alright. So, congratulations, your Eevee evolved into Flareon. Fantastic. Alright, so the reason this Pokemon is now a Flareon and not a Vaporeon, Jolteon, Espeon, or Umbreon is because, well, I wanted to have a particular challenge for this particular Let's Play, and I think Flareon would be it. Flareon is not the best Pokemon in the game. There are a lot of better fire types out there, but I live by the philosophy that every Pokemon is usable, and I would really like to demonstrate that right here and right now. And another thing that kind of coincides with this is really the only game where Flareon actually shines. There's not too many other games out there that you can play where Flareon is pretty good, so I really wanted to give Flareon a chance to shine. Nobody really uses it, and I do like Flareon, so I'm going to give Flareon a chance and use it. And while I'm putting out there that I want to use this Pokemon, I also want to say that I do have a nickname for this particular Pokemon. because I am putting so much faith in this Pokemon, I am going to give it a very unique nickname that kind of fits it. So anyway, hello, I am the official name raider. Been through this a million times. Yes, I want you to critique my Pokemon. Which nickname should I critique? That would be my little Flareon right here. Pokemon that many of you are probably still pondering why I picked this. Flareon, is it? That is a decent nickname. But I could give it a nicer name. How about it? Yes. Alright then, so what shall this new Pokemon's name be? So I'm doing this and I'm going to reference Flareon to a character from one of my favorite Disney movies ever. And that is, give me just one moment to type it and you will see. Alright, there we go. I am calling this Pokemon Calcifer, in a reference to Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. So the reason I'm doing this, the backstory between Howl and Calcifer is very touching. More or less, Calcifer is on his deathbed and Howl saves him by giving up his heart. Kind of cryptic, but just go with it. So anyway, Flareon here is a Pokemon with no hope, and I want to give Flareon a chance to show that there is more to him than meets the eye. So I figure the similarities are kind of there, so I'm going to name this Pokemon Calcifer in the hopes that this is not just some kind of ironic reference, but that it actually works out. That you can see how good Flareon is, and you can see just how usable he is. So yes, Calcifer it is. Done. How about that? From now on, this Pokemon shall be known as Calcifer. It is a better name than before, isn't it? Yes, and I think it suits Flareon very well. Good for you. Thank you. Alright, there is one other thing I would like to do with my little Flareon, or Calcifer, and that is, well, if you recall, I actually got these various TMs from the game corner, and I'm going to use one of them, which is Flamethrower, right now, to make Flareon a little bit more useful. It'll have its best stab move right now, so that takes care of that. It needs a couple of other moves, but we'll take care of that a little bit later. First things first, we're going to go ahead and just get rid of Tackle, because that's the worst move ever to have on a Flareon. Alright, there we go. Calcifer forgot how to use Tackle. And Calcifer learned Flamethrower. Very good. Congratulations, Calcifer. Alright, so now that Calcifer has that, I've pretty much done everything that I'm going to do up here right now. So I'm going to head back to Ecruteak City, and I will meet you guys there in just a little bit. I will be right back. Alright, we are back at Ecruteak City, and now that we are, it is time to show off my new Pokemon at the Ecruteak Gym. We are going to take on Morty in this particular episode. But before we do, I do think it's worth mentioning, I'm not going to do it right now, but just beyond this city, if you go to your left, if you go to that Route 38 or whatever it is, you can actually find some normal type Pokemon that will help you out in this gym, but I'm not going to identify those Pokemon. Just know those are there if you're having trouble with this gym. Alright, it is time to show off my Calcifer here, the Sakura, and many other things we got going on. So we go in here, and you will notice that this place is very foggy. Let's talk to this guy and see what's up. Yo, champ in the making! The trainers here use Ghost-type Pokemon at will. A ghost is like a shade or a phantom. Way to state the obvious. It won't do any good to use physical strength alone. Oh, shut up, you jerk. You should say something like, normal type moves don't work against ghost types. Instead, you just say don't use physical moves. Well, don't be fooled. The only thing that doesn't hurt a ghost type is a normal type move. Outside of that, everything else hits it. Except earthquake and ground type moves because they have levitate. Alright, so we've got our first trainer here and several trainers that we have to battle. And we're going to get started with this one by showing off Calcifer. So we talk to this old lady here. She says, can you inflict any damage on our Pokemon? Yes, I can, because I have one of the best, well, worst fire types I'm using. Alright, so Georgina here. What kind of name is Georgina? Oh, well, anyway, has a bunch of Ghastlies. This really isn't that hard, so I'm just going to go ahead and show Calcifer's Flamethrower. See how much damage this thing does. We're a tad bit over-leveled for that, but oh my goodness, Calcifer, that was awesome! Nice! I can't believe I'm surprised by that. I mean, at this stage in the game, having something like Flareon is actually pretty good. Well, this would be much easier if you had something like Espeon or Jolteon. I don't think you could actually get a Jolteon short of the Pokeathlon Dome, which I did say I went to, and I do apologize for that. That's where I got the Firestone for this thing, and I will be showing the Pokeathlon a little bit later. But yeah, I just had to go to it to take care of these things, so yeah. Alright, so he just keeps sending out Ghastly, and Calcifer's just knocking these things down like they're, I don't know, pieces of wood or something. Well, Calcifer was a powerful being over the demons in Howl's Moving Castle. Oh, that was such a great movie. I love that movie. At least until the end. The end felt a little rushed to me. Maybe that's just me. Alright, well, since Calcifer's on a roll, we might as well keep the fire going, right? Alright, another flamethrower. Burn these Ghastlies to a crisp. Haha! Die, Ghastly! It's kind of counterintuitive because they're already dead. Alright, Calcifer, awesome! This is just a great debut for the Pokemon, is it not? Level 23 as a result. Wow! I'm impressed. I'm really shocked. Of course, we are just battling Ghastlies. I shouldn't be super shocked by this, but still, it's kind of neat at the same time. Alright, so just one more flamethrower and that should take care of this. Man, this is awesome already. Let's hope the trend continues. Alright, so with that, we have defeated Georgina, worst female name I think that's ever existed in the history of female names. Ah, well done. Yes, your Pokemon are well done. Alright, so that takes care of him. Because of it, they've opened the path to the next area. Well, because of that, I think I'm actually going to move Calcifer out. Let's give Betty a little bit of screen time. Reason being, you'll see why in just a little bit. Alright, so we got a couple of trainers here. And, oh, well, that was just jerkish placement. Alright, fine, I will battle you. I spent the spring with my Pokemon, then summer, autumn, and winter. So you pretty much, then spring came again. We have lived together for a long time. Okay, fine, I'm gonna knock some sense into you, old lady. You're going to talk about your nostalgia thing that I don't want to hear about. I am going to beat that nostalgia out of you. That just sounds absolutely horrible. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna beat the nostalgia. I'm not gonna beat the nostalgia out of any old person in a Pokemon game. You should pretty much know this, but I do not like old people in Pokemon games. They're just annoying. But old people, real life, you guys are awesome. I actually told a great story about some old people in an earlier episode. We'll just leave it at that. Alright, so with that, Betty has grew to level 23, so now that he's got that taken care of, we can move on to bigger and better things now that we've defeated Edith, win, and losses. I missed all that because the text moves too fast, but... Oh, what's this? What? Betty is evolving! Alright, so apparently Betty must like me enough to evolve because that's the only way this evolution is triggered. Hey, no complaints here. Because with this evolution, Betty has became... Crobat. Oh man, this is awesome! My team is becoming more stronger by the second! I love this! Congratulations, Betty! Wow, first Sakura, now Calcifer, now Betty? This is awesome! My team is unstoppable. Alright, now that I am back with a full-healed party, it is time to do battle, and we are going to do so with Calcifer since he's been so amazing this entire time. Alright, so we go up and talk to the 4th gym leader in the Johto region. Morty says, "It is good of you to have come. Here in Ecruteak, Pokemon have long been revered. It is said that a rainbow-hued Pokemon will come down to appear before a truly powerful trainer. I believe that tale, so I have secretly trained here all my life. As a result, I can now see what others cannot. I see a shadow of the person who will make the Pokemon appear. I believe that person is me." Alright, dude, that's good and all, but I want a badge and you are the obstacle to it, so it is time for a battle. You're going to help me reach that level. Yeah, bring it on, dude. Alright, gym leader number 4, Morty. Morty has 4 Pokemon here, and is going to start out with a Ghastly at level 21. The moves Lick, Spite, Mean Look, and Curse. Now this Pokemon is really not that hard. You won't have problems with this Pokemon, but there is a Pokemon in his arsenal that you will probably have trouble with. And I have a feeling it's probably going to pop up. Wow, Calcifer, you're doing amazing! Wow! Critical hit! 1-hit KO. Way to go, buddy! Alright, he's already sending out his ultimate Pokemon. Well, anyway, Gengar here, level 25. The moves Hypnosis, Shadow Ball, Mean Look, and Sucker Punch. For his strongest Pokemon, I'm going to go ahead and send out my strongest because, well, I have a bad feeling about this. Let's just hope we can get through it. Alright, Gengar. His signature Pokemon here. I'm hoping I can take care of this thing, and it shouldn't be that hard if... Alright, Hypnosis hit missed. Haha. Alright, bloke, bite that thing and KO it. One more time should do it. And what? What? No! He had a citrus berry, oh, doggone it. Well, it's not as bad as a hyper potion, I guess, but you know, and there's the hypnosis. Why is hypnosis so annoying in these games? I always get hit by these things. Well, it's not nearly as bad as Whitney, but it still stinks, you know? I'm sitting here trying to beat these Pokemon. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Stay with me, Bloke. You can do it. All right. Now, no, Bloke! Bloke! Come on! Oh, no. Oh, probably should have sent out Bellosin to paralyze this. You know what? That's actually the strategy I'm going to do. I can't afford too many bad battles, and this thing could sweep my whole team. So, Sakura, go out there and use your Stun Spore. Take care of it. All right, paralyze. Now we'll go into our attack maneuver, whatever that may be. I don't really know. Let's just go ahead and use Acid. Maybe that'll work. Oh my goodness, Gengar's still faster than me. Or, wait a minute, it has that Sucker Punch, but that's all it did? Wow, that's not going to last long. Okay, let's get out there, Betty. Show them how powerful you are. Yeah, I paralyzed Gengar, the fastest Pokemon in his team, so I could send out my fastest and hit this thing. Yeah. Smart moving right there. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see a brilliant strategy. I know he's going to use a Hyper Potion, so go ahead. Haha. I will confuse you and use the Parafusion on you. Oh, I'm a little too excited about that. I really shouldn't be because, well, he only has a 25% chance of attacking me now. He's probably got a bunch of Hyper Potions. I do not care because Betty here can get through anything. Alright, just one more bite. We take care of this thing. Yeah, victory's in the bag. Good job, Sakura. I'm so proud of you. You and Betty both. Wow. I didn't realize how... And there's Sakura. Grew to level 23. Fantastic. And wants to learn Magical Leaf. Nice. Wow, everything's just falling in my favor today. Alright, Magical Leaf has a base power of 60. Much better than Mega Drain here, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Keep the other moves. This is just awesome. I love this. It's a shame poor Bloke couldn't do anything, but yeah, such is the case of life. Alright, his next Pokemon is a Haunter. He actually has two of these, so I'm not sure which is which. But for this Pokemon, I'll do something a little gutsy and throw out Dopey. So anyway, depending on what Haunter he has, if it's at level 21, it will have the moves. Let's just see what it actually has first. At level 21 Haunter, it has the moves Hypnosis, Dream Eater, Curse, and Nightmare. This Pokemon is a danger to anyone's team that, well, this Pokemon likes to put you to sleep, so I'm going to kind of follow in the same path. Use my own sleep moves on this thing. And hopefully we can just knock this thing out like that. So if Hypnosis will miss again, or you could just kill yourself. Are you really just wanting to hand the victory to me that much? Wow. Talk about good fortunes. Oh, it didn't kill it. Well, it's asleep now, and there's a curse placed on Dopey, but that is alright, because Dopey... One curse is not going to hurt Dopey. And that Pokemon is asleep now, short of it using a Hyper Potion, which he did not. Apparently his Haunter is not worth it. Alright, so one Surf later, and that takes care of Haunter. Man, I really wish Bloke could have had something. You know what? Serves him right for stealing my hero's kiss in the woods. I really should let that go. I will. Bloke has done a lot of good. I couldn't have won the last couple of gym battles without him, so... Next Haunter will be at level 23, the moves Curse, Mean Look, Sucker Punch, and Nightshade. To finish this off, I'm just going to send out Calcifer. I don't see why not. He's had such a great debut. Why not finish it with him? Alright, Calcifer. My fire thing. Let's just call him a fire Pokemon against his... No, it's not over net. Not yet. I still believe we can do it. Well, if you could do it over a flamethrower, I believe you. You just killed yourself. Wow. Way to hand me the victory, dude. No, seriously. Way to hand me the victory. I cannot believe you guys just did that. You cursed yourself and just died to a flamethrower. That's just sad. Why would you do that? And Calcifer almost grew to level 24. How is this possible? I'm not sure. A lot of good luck on my part. Let's just go with that. Alright. I don't think our potentials are so different, but you seem to have something more than that. So be it. This badge is yours. And with that, Chime received the Fog Badge from Morty, from a Pokemon trainer who uses Gas-type Pokemon. By having the Fog Badge, Pokemon up to level 50, including traded Pokemon, will obey you, which is very helpful to know. Also, Pokemon will be able to use Surf. Here is another thing. I want you to have this, too. And with that, we obtain TM30, which is Shadow Ball, one of the best TMs you're going to get from a gym leader. I love this move. I won't be using it right away, but it's still a great move. It causes damage and may reduce special defense. Use it if it appeals to you. Indeed it does, but for a Pokemon I will be catching later. Talk about later. So after that, I get it. The person the kimono girls were talking about must be you. Never mind. What? You should be strong enough to go across the sea. When you go to the west and the south, you'll reach Olivine City. Wait a minute, back up, dude. You said, why don't you head for... No! Wait, you said something about the... I hate these people. They leave you with more questions than answers. You know what? If you're not going to tell me anything about the kimono girls, I'm going on my way. Well, cheap trick. You just walk up the side thing. You'll end up back at the beginning of the gym. So since we're here, I guess we'll talk to this guy one more time. He says, woo, Chime, you did great. Yeah, I had a lot of luck going my way this episode. Really happy about that. I was cowering in the corner out of pure terror. Dude, that's insulting. I have good luck and you're scared to death of that? You jerk, just shut up and leave me alone. Oh, Flareon, kill him. Or not. Let's go. Alright, so that is Morty and my 4th badge. Mother! You know what? If you call me one more time telling me you bought things with my money, I am cutting you off for good. So on that note, while I ignore my mother once again, that is Morty and our 4th gym badge, and I think we've done more than enough for this particular episode, so we're going to go ahead and call things off here. Next time, in my Let's Play of Pokemon SoulSilver, we are going to conclude our business around Ecruteak City, get a couple of things we can do here, and then ultimately make our way out towards the next location. So, until that time, I will catch you guys later.